folks, it is September 20th, 2023. It's 6:03 p.m. and I want to reflect on something that I've been curious about for a couple of months, and that is the statement that certain materials that you wear can enhance your auric field and your vibration. And so I kind of heard this and I chewed on it for a good while, and was like, that sounds very interesting. But like a lot of things, I said, okay, I filed that away in the back of my mind, and I moved on. But with this fast that I've been doing last little while, months ago, last year, whatever, I lost weight, right? And so my waist size shrunk from 36 wide to 32 wide. And so I find it to be a beneficial transformation, because that's what my waist is supposed to be. And that's what it was when I was in my 20s. So I'm pleased with that. But with the decreased waist size, or should we say the return of my true waist size, I had an issue where none of my clothes fit anymore. So I needed to change my wardrobe out so that the clothes don't feel uncomfortable, because you want your clothes to be loosely fitting, but if they're too loose, they become an impediment. And I had situations every day, several times a day, where I was straightening my belt, tightening my belt, all of that kind of stuff. And it was a little annoying. But what I heard was that linen and natural fabrics actually give you energy. And then a few weeks ago, I heard that linen gives you 5,000 volts of energy. I was like, okay, I will buy that for now. But I did my own research. And so I found out that this scientist, not long ago, but somewhat recently, in 2003, did some research on fabrics. Her name is Heidi Yellen, and I believe she's from the Royal Covenant University in San Diego. Either was or still is. But scientist Heidi Yellen used equipment from a company called Ag Environment, I forgot the rest, Environment something, based in Minneapolis, Kansas. And they apparently make these equipment for agriculture where it can examine the photons in fabrics. I'm only laughing because this is fresh news to me still, and what I find is that people look into everything you can imagine. And so they make a machine that examines the photons of fabrics and other materials. I was like, that is really amazing. So Heidi Yellen, as part of her research, obtained these tools and found that through the study of these different fabrics and their chemical and physical composition, that there is a different energy level depending on the fabric. So fabrics like cotton and rayon and nylon and so on, they go down in their energy signatures. In fact, I don't remember which fabrics it was, but there's some fabrics that have like an energy level of like 15, which is synonymous to a human that has expired physically, right? And then fabrics like cotton, they have an energy level of like 100, which is almost toe-to-toe with the energy signature of a live human being, right? And so then you have a fabric like linen that was measured at 5,000 units of energy. I don't know if the units of energy were volts like these other people are saying, but the terminology that's used when you look at the research, it's units of energy. So 5,000 units of energy, and that 5,000 units of energy, because of the relative lower units of energy in the human flesh, imparts that energy to the human, right? See, because you look at the physical laws like thermodynamics and others, heat and energy in general, it flows. Energy doesn't flow away from lower frequencies. Heat doesn't flow away from cold. It flows towards cold. So energy is always finding expression towards the lower expression. Higher energy is finding that expression towards the lower frequencies to achieve balance. And so when you're wearing linen, it gives you an immense amount of energy. I'm going to put references in the description to this video for anyone who is curious and wants to look at this for themselves. These references will be a kickstart, right? You should deep dive into this on your own, right? But I found it very interesting. What I found interesting in the research about linen fabrics is that apparently linen is used in the medical field for sutures inside the body. I don't know if that's entirely accurate, but that's what I've heard, and that's what I've come across. And that when you have recovering patients, that they're much less likely to have skin issues during a stay in a treatment facility when the sheets are linen sheets. So I thought that was interesting. I went my whole life not knowing this. It's like, wow, that's really amazing. I would have liked to have known at least something like that when I was younger. But what I also found interesting is that there are numerous biblical references to linen and wool, because wool also has 5,000 units of energy. But apparently the Bible and science both confirms that you don't want to mix wool and linen together. And so apparently in Leviticus chapter 13 verses 47 through 48, it talks about linen. And then I believe in Leviticus chapter 19 verse 19, it talks about linen again. And I think those two chapters touch on linen as well as wool. But what I find interesting about Leviticus 19:19 is that it's almost a prohibition, or at least something that you should consider when you're thinking about genetically modified food, because I believe it says something about mixing seeds and mixing varieties, and I think you can interpret that any number of ways. But when I initially saw that, I was like, you know what, that is, if you find divinity from biblical sources, that is almost a divine revelation about the perils or the pitfalls of taking certain things too far when we're talking about science, right? But it's amazing that science can confirm things that are written in ancient literature and ancient texts like the Bible. And then you find in Deuteronomy 22:11, right? And of course 22 and 11 are master numbers in numerology, right? They're master numbers. By the way, Lloyd Strayhorn has an app that you can get on your phone. It's called A Star. Letter A, and then STAR, and then the number 8. A Star 8 by Lloyd Strayhorn, who is one of the foremost numerologists out there. That app is totally dope and it's totally legit. And it breaks things down. It even tells you who you're compatible with from a relationship standpoint. If you know somebody that you're going to be with, you know their name, their birth date, other details, this app will tell you how much of a match you are according to the long science of uh, numerology from the Chaldean system. But anyway, back on this fabric thing. It's like, um, yeah, when I first started wearing linen fabrics this week, I was like, man, that feels absolutely fabulous. If you go back to my video from a couple of days ago, where I'm wearing purple, which is a color of enlightenment, and I'm wearing these beige pants, uh, you know, those pants are linen. But it turns out if you mix wool and linen together, then they actually cancel each other out to zero. So you end up with no energetic transformation when you combine linen and wool, and the Christian Bible confirms that in its own way. Actually, it says just don't wear them together. It don't tell you why, but it tells you don't put these two fabrics together or you're going to have trouble, right? And so science then comes around and says, oh, this is why you don't do that. So the bottom line is that, yeah, what you wear matters. I believe Sadhguru has a video out there about that. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to watch it. But I suspect he's going to talk about linen. Let's place a bet. But anyway, but what you wear matters. It does, because we're all trying to be healthy, and it's been proven scientifically that natural organic fibers, and chief among those linen, gives you health back. It actually nourishes the body and the energy field, the human biofield. And so my rambling here is just a from the gut, you know, transfer of this information. But if you want to find the structured information on this, it's out there. If you have the time and the motivation to look at it and pursue it. So I encourage you to do so. I hope you found this message well. I've started my transformation in terms of what I wear, where it will help me generate better energy, but it also comports to, you know, an inner renewal of self-image and setting that foundation of quality that I spoke about earlier, where you do quality across the board in all avenues of your existence, and that will help to manifest higher quality outcomes and results as you move forward in the perception of time. So I will see you later, and I hope you have a good one.